can't get around the damage that Nightshade can do.
Oh, as we've got the leads of Game 1 between Justin and Yuma. Volcarona, Ursaluna, Blood Moon already on the offensive versus Yuma's Typhlosion and the Incineroar. So a very interesting situation where we've got Fake Out online, but at the same time, the Typhlosion could be a big threat.
So we've seen Justin very quickly lock in what he needs to do, and that makes a lot of sense too. You are facing down Typhlosion with that Choice Specs, most likely faster than this Volcarona. Even though it's a slightly slower Pokemon, it's often trained to be very fast, if not maximum speed. Given the Citrus Berry in this Volcarona, probably not that max speed either, particularly as it can get up its own Tailwind. But we'll see though, it might be a little bit different too. But either way, Yuma can fake out either of these targets as well. And it's a really safe one into the Volcarona, given that it doesn't have Protect and there's no Covert Cloak either. But here's the defensive Terra from Justin, that Terra Water to take almost 5 moves at least. Yeah,
and once again, you want to be able to position your Volcarona to the point where it's setting up its partners for success and willing to go for this defensive Terra means you've got the options of taking and absorbing good amount of damage whilst also being able to survive, maybe proc a Citrus Berry, and the subsequent turn allow the Blood Moon or Ursaluna to move. Terrifier though, on the other side, Yuma going straight for the burst damage. Ursaluna opting to go for the Protect here. Most likely going to be seeing a Fake Out from Incineroar, but which slot is it going to go into? It is going to be covering the Volcarona, acknowledging the utility of this Pokemon. Eruption though, David. It's going to be dealing a bit of damage. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to be able to proc a Citrus Berry, but the fact that this is a Choice Specs, it may well be able to, and it does!
Easily, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, and interesting to see how much damage that is. That's 120 HP of damage there, and now Citrus Berry has put it at 110 HP. So now we know another Eruption is just going to clear the board. This is not Assault Vest Ursaluna either. Yuma could just click Eruption. There's nothing Justin seems to be able to do about this either. And it's just except for the speedy Volcarona.
Here we go, here we go. It's able to outspeed, and this is not a choice draft. Typhlosion, Earth Power is going to be going straight into the Typhlosion slot, picking up the KO, already getting rid of the Terra Pokemon piece from Yuma's side. This will leave Incineroar a bit more room to at least go, most likely for a parting shot into the Blood Moon or Ursaluna, but you are already down one of your main offensive pieces. And this may even necessitate Yuma to be able to have another mode available in the back, most likely a Blood Moon or Ursaluna of their own.
Yeah, such a critical outspeed there from Volcarona, showing off what an amazing moth it really is. And with the supportive set too, amazing to see. And yeah, so here is the Farigiraf that's coming in at the moment, which I really like to see. So you've got to imagine that Ursaluna might be in the back as well, if you want to set up that Trick Room to really flip the speeds on what this Volcarona has now provided too. And the question is though, can you take the double up though? That's the question. But Incineroar coming in though could be very safe to be able to get it to do what it needs to do. But it's not. It's actually the Ursaluna coming in here.
Fascinating. And this sort of brings to the question of, does Justin go for the just absolute damage output now, the Blood Moon focus, into the Farigiraf in recognition of a potential Trick Room setup, or expect a defensive play from that slot, maybe a switch in, and the Blood Moon Ursaluna from Yuma's side going on the offensive?
So the Ursaluna's going to switch out here, a little bit afraid of what Yuma's Pokemon are going to be able to do in front of all this Tailwind as well. Archaladon, a good switch in there too, but catching a Protect there as well. But where has this Volcarona targeted? It is both. Strugglebug, a really nice defensive option to support the team.
Yeah, and even though Yuma will likely go ahead and get that Trick Room being set up, critical hit is actually a bit annoying in terms of the amount of HP resource available on that Farigiraf. But like I was saying, the fact that you've got the Archaladon now on the field, it doesn't have the option to Terra out of the Earth Power incoming from the Blood Moon Ursaluna, sort of forces a point where we know this Volcarona has Rage Powder. It's going to be able to redirect that and maybe force Yuma to have to decide which Pokemon to really try to go for in terms of, do you go for the Blood Moon, do you go for the Hyper Voice, or do you go for the Earth Power?
Yeah, all really good questions, Costa. I mean, like, it would have been closest to where the Farigiraf would have gone down to maybe a double off on that previous turn, but I think something else is about to happen right now.
Yeah, it is, and it's just going to be the redirection from the Volcarona for now, but which move has the Blood Moon gone for. It's going to be the Hyper Voice wanting to make sure that it can at least pick up the KO onto the Volcarona, deal as much damage as possible onto that Chaludon, and now we have got a +1 defense boosted Chaludon via the stamina ability interaction. It could be a case of trying to go for the body press straight into the Blood Moon Ursaluna. It's not that bulky, but I would say the safer place, it seems like, is the Snarl. You're not only able to get some good chip damage onto both of Yuma's Pokemon, but you start lowering the damage output of their special offensive prowess.
Yeah, it's a really nice option there. We've seen Volcarona do exactly what it wants to do. We've seen the Struggle Bug, we've seen the Tail, we've seen the Rage Powder. It's doing exactly what it needs to. But yeah, because you're that fast on Volcarona, you don't have the bulk to be able to take on those Hyper Voices, so it does obviously go down here. So Justin is a little bit of a battle here to try and stall out his own Tailwind and top of the Trick Room as well that Yuma's got up at the moment too. So yeah, Yuma's still very much in the driver's seat at the moment. But yeah, given that special attack drop, we might start to see these Pokemon survive, but there's where the Nightshade comes in on Yuma's end. The damage of that has not been mitigated, so I do wonder if something like a Nightshade and Earth Power could still be enough to KO this Archaludon. It looks like Justin is a bit wary of that too.
Oh yeah, so I'm curious to see if Yuma's been able to sort of anticipate this and go on the full offensive, maybe interact with that Dragonite slot instead, which at the moment it looks like there's been no protect on that side. Earth Power is enough though to pick up the KO thanks to that helping hand. Such a crucial KO onto that slot, leaving Justin down to the final 2 Pokemon. You can see Justin nodding his head, does connect with the Scale Shot, but even though the Blood Moon Ursaluna is more of the offensive set with that Life Orb, it's got so much bulk when it comes to its physical defensive side, and that's only 4 hits. It's able to take that and have a couple of more attacks in its slot available before the Life Orb recoil is able to pick itself off.
Now, here's something interesting, is where the Archaludon is now in, the Tailwind has expired. Now, if you're running an Ursaluna that has a Tailwind on the team and Trick Room on the team, there's a chance that Archaludon could underspeed the Ursaluna here, but Yuma seems confident that it will underspeed the Archaludon, I think.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case. Helping hand, Earth Power into the Archaludon. Yet another Pokemon KO'd from Justin in consecutive turns, leaving the Dragonite on its own. At this point, yes, it could go for the Scale Shot. It will potentially get the KO on the Farigiraf if we see all 5 hits and maybe even a critical hit at this point. But you've got the Incineroar in the back, and this just looks like Yuma's been able to run away with this game 1. You've got Trick Room still remaining and a lot more resource available versus Justin.
Yeah, 100% here. It's 3 versus 1 at the moment, but obviously 2 Pokemon who are very low on HP here. So what you might want to try and do here is switch in the Incineroar, so at least you've got a Fake Out turn to if you want to then set up Trick Room at the same time. So, but if Justin can get the KO on this like Farigiraf, then maybe there's a shot.
No, as the multi-scale has been broken, Blood Moon at -1, special attack is enough. Life Orb, of course, means this bear is a monster of mass destruction, giving Yuma game 1. I would say not very comfortably, because there was a lot of back and forth between both of our trainers, and Justin definitely felt like had the initial sort of momentum in their favor, but it just seems like the bring of the Trick Room in the back was able to give Yuma so much more room.
Yeah, it really was. So you could see the kind of the bait of the Typhlosion in the lead, right? Going like, you need to get up Tailwind, otherwise I'm gonna like just destroy the rest of your team. So Tailwind goes up, but then suddenly Farigiraf comes back in. And that is where the tables completely flipped. All the speeds were flipped. Now, maybe a missed opportunity there for Justin to have actually targeted into that Farigiraf on that turn specifically with a Blood Moon. Double up with that Struggle Bug. Might have had a chance to KO there as well, given the Struggle Bug did get that critical hit as well. So they might have looked at a different game. Even if it didn't KO, it would be in range and there would be less helping hand. But interestingly, we had so much damage from that Ursaluna, even at -1 from Struggle Bug.
Yeah, I know, and that's sort of the beauty of having a helping hand user on the other side of the field. Helping hand, of course, meaning it's got one of the most highest priority in terms of order of assisting its partner Pokemon. And there's no protect on this Farigiraf, so that does mean it, like you said, that was such a pivotal point of being able to focus down in that slot or maybe anticipate an Incineroar switch in and not allow the Trick Room being set up. But we've got a change up in this game too. Justin has now brought the Grimmsnarl as well as the Volcarona, and this allows a bit more room for Justin to be able to further bulk out or maybe even disrupt with Thunder Waves Yuma's side of the field.
Yeah, exactly. So what is safe here is maybe a Terror on Grimmsnarl's end, plus, say, a Light Screen to get around Fake Out that could come out here. And obviously, we've seen the Terror on the Volcarona before as well to get into that Water type too. But Fake Out can only go into one target. Either way, Yuma is still putting all the eggs into the Typhlosion basket to just kind of blow the board again, and with a potential trigger off in the back, could flip those speeds once again.
Yeah, as the Fake Out will be targeting the Grimmsnarl. No support or disruption, at least for one turn struggle, but because we saw the speed interactions, will be moving first, bringing the special attack of this Typhlosion down by one stage, which could be so crucial in terms of the sort of necessary damage output to ensure 2-hit KOs here. As we say, it's just on the threshold. Volcarona, of course, is going to be able to recover via the Citrus Berry recovery, but yeah, this sort of still at least introduces a different angle that Justin can ensure screens being set up here and at least further enabling the Volcarona to stay on the field just in time for the main offensive Pokemon such as the Blood Moon to be coming in afterwards.
Yeah, 100%, you're really right here. This is a much better position for Justin at the moment here. We can see from the Citrus Berry recovery, Eruption could be survived again, even if another struggle bug doesn't come out. So yeah, Light Screen might want to go up here, but obviously Justin maybe not thinking so as much here, but if you switch in something that maybe resists fire, that could be slightly better.
Oh yeah, what a nice little bring here, because what are you really scared of, at least in terms of this board position? Now, the Typhlosion is at -2 of its special attack, so you sort of want it to stay on the field and not deal that much damage, as well as getting that Dragonite in means scale shots will start really taking a toll on Yuma's side in the subsequent turns, as a Flare Blitz focus into the Volcarona is actually enough to pick up a KO, because there's no sort of damage mitigation, at least when it comes to the physical output of this Incineroar.
Yeah, it's a really good play from Yuma, just to kind of keep up that offensive power going, because the Volcarona has to leave itself open if it's going to start mitigating damage from Typhlosion. But the beauty of having a special attacker and a physical attacker on your team is that you can't often counter both at the same time here. So yeah, Volcarona ends up going down, which was such a pivotal, supportive piece for Justin. And now he needs to get into his position where he can start dealing out some damage. And now is a good time to do it too, right? You've got two Pokemon that can't protect, so can Justin capitalize on this position now?
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if there's going to be a switch up from Yuma's side in more of a Whimsicott Ring, which will be able to be immune to a scale shot. So question is, has Yuma been able to read which slot the scale shot has targeted, as the Flamigo makes an appearance too? But no, wanting to go more on the safer side, Tailwind has been set up. Earth Power, does mean Flamigo is able to have a Focus Sash intact. Well played from Yuma.
Yeah, Yuma is absolutely Justin's head here.
Wow.
Not only from the play, but from the Pokemon that Justin has been using too.
Exactly.
The perfect switch-ins there. Dragonite has just gone for Tailwind. This Whimsicott has Encore, so it can actually lock it into that move. Not only that, it can Encore the Ursaluna into Earth Power, which can do nothing to the Flamigo and resisted damage to this Whimsicott. And even if Justin goes on the defensive, Whimsicott can just go for Tailwind and match it for what the Dragonite has done too. And now we have a Flamigo on the field as well that can deal really good damage to this Ursaluna.
Yeah, Yuma is on fire right now. Justin does still have the option of committing to a Terrestrialization in order to forego the weakness to the Fighting type in the subsequent turn, as it wants to go a bit on the defensive right now, get that reposition of the Grimmsnarl going, and yeah, try to read that Encore, which obviously will definitely not affect the Grimmsnarl, but the close combat will instead. Yuma reading the defensive play, saying, right, all I need to do is get rid of that second slot, lower the amount of available switches that you've got in order to pin that Ursaluna. It's so crucial as well, it makes a lot of sense, because there's no way for the Flamigo to be impacted with a Focus Sash intact, and we've got Yuma